Can you take
And then
me higher?
You sang that beautifully, actually. I want you to know that.
Thank you so much. I've been practicing since the early 2000s.
Welcome to the Holy Hour.
I'm Amelia Sampson.
And I'm Liz Ball, and I'm a dumbass and forgot my entire laptop today. So we're using Amelia's full-size monitor.
I kind of dig it, though.
I pulled out all my stuff, and I was like, I forgot the thing, the main thing that I need. So
You were very calm when you said it to me. You were like, I forgot my laptop. I was like,
we're definitely, we've been struggling.
Today has been actually, yes, everything that's gone wrong has gone, or that could go wrong has gone wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Like the construction outside.
We were late to getting started because both of us needed to take a nap.
Uh-huh.
And then I was at a point where, like, if you know when I say this, like, I was so tired that I did not want to put shoes on.
Uh-huh.
Putting shoes on was an inconvenience to me.
Wow. That sounds like me when I was depressed.
Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm missing a nail.
Oh my God, I broke two.
That shit. That's how it be. It'd be like that. It took us an hour and a half to get fully set up.
Yeah, I'm an hour and a half now into my second Adderall.
We also spent a second Adderall.
Did I tell you I got prescribed a second? I got prescribed night Adderall because
nighttime Adderall.
Yeah, because I like work during the day and then I do all the shit that like I actually care about at night, and I'm out of Adderall by then.
How's that gonna affect your?
I have immediate release for. She's prescribed. I almost said our psychiatrist's name. She's prescribed it to me for like 4 p.m. onward, so it doesn't fuck with my sleep because it's just 4-hour stuff.
Oh.
But I take it at 7. Because that's when my XR wears off. I sound like a complete addict. I probably am. But it helps me focus. So here we are. So one of my friends works at, I don't really know what you call it. But anyway, she like helps diagnose people with things. And since like autism has like become such a thing on TikTok.
Yeah.
Everybody comes in like wanting an autism diagnosis. And I think that that's so interesting. That's such an interesting cultural shift. Because, like, before it was, like, don't vaccinate your kids. They're going to get autism. It was, like, the scariest thing in the world. Like, you would rather your kid have whooping cough than autism.
Yeah.
And now it feels like people are, like, hoping to get a diagnosis to, like, explain the things that they have always been insecure about. But people are saying things are autism and ADHD that aren't.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I'm not going to, like, self-diagnose here.
Right.
And I'm not going to assume anything.
Right. But then there are things. It's all spectrum, too. It's like.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Just like sexuality, baby. There's no standard way of being a person.
No. Wouldn't that be nice? And also kind of sad?
It would be. Yes.
It would help guide
it
a little bit.
People want rules. They want there to be rules. And that's why everyone gets so mad.
Oh my God.
On the internet.
About everything.
Speaking of being mad on the internet, I'm sure some of you might know, Amelia and I made a TikTok. We're doing a voiceover of a male-hosted podcast.
We made it, y'all.
It's called Good Bro, Bad Bro. And as a podcast who also puts videos on TikTok, I was like, okay, maybe they're just posting hyperbolic stuff because
it gets clicks.
Yeah. And we put our most like eyebrow-raising conversations on TikTok for the same reason.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, me. Yesterday when I was high, I was like, I'll give it a chance. I'll listen. And respectfully, it is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Yeah. I was pretty disappointed because I was like, they'll like start to say something that like you're like, oh, where are they gonna go with this? Because this could be a really good point.
That's the worst.
And then they'll like flip it, and then they'll be like, and that's why women are fucking stupid.
God, it's like tripping right when you get to the finish line.
Yeah, you're like, no, you almost made it. And then they kept saying stuff like that was like transphobic and homophobic and misogynist. But it was they're also 24. So I was like, you know what? For a 24-year-old man, it's not great.
It's SOP, standard operating procedure.
Yeah, they're trying. But I think they're also like, all the women in our comments have like blue hair and they're unattractive. I'm like, that's such a boring.
Republican men call all liberal women like blue-haired commies. I'm like,
yeah, and that they're like not attractive. So then I went to their comments and I was like looking at the profiles. I was like, as a bisexual person, smash. In the comments, smash.
Every single one. Did not pass on anyone.
People in our comments started fighting with each other about what does and does not count as a hobby. And I hate to be the person to deliver this, but as our favorite person, Kyle Prue, said, we're not gatekeeping activities.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
We're not going to gatekeep activities.
No.
And also, we're all working 40 hours a week. You don't need to have a hobby.
It feels very insecure to get on someone else about what they do as a hobby.
Uh-huh.
It's like, what are you gaining by doing that? Like, why does that feel good?
Also, one of my favorite comments is like, and that's why you'll be single forever. And I'm like, one, I'm not. Two, why is being single or alone a bad thing?
Right.
Like, to me, that's just you saying like, you don't know how to be alone.
It's just like they
I love my company.
Right.
You'll be alone. You'll be single forever.
It's like, yeah, fingers crossed. Just kidding. I'm lonely and sad.
Joke's on you. This is the last man. He knows.
You've told him.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then he said, this is for you, boys. I'm not joking.
I love that.
He said, this one's for you, boys.
I love that.
And that's why I love him.
He's such a little cutie.
He's taking it seriously as
that's a responsibility.
Literally, the last man standing.
That is a responsibility.
In terms of me and my vagina.
These boys recycle the same insults in places that very clearly don't make sense to recycle them.
Oh, no.
I got a comment today I posted about cellulite a few weeks ago, and I got a comment today that was like, it was a picture of me from the back, and like, it's a full body photo, you know, but it's of my ass. And someone commented and they were like, I'm going to do an impression. If you really loved your cellulite ass, you would have zoomed in on it. Hello? And so I went to his profile, 0 pictures of himself. And I was like, this is rich.
I am convinced these people are guys that wouldn't match, like you wouldn't match with.
No, hell no. And also, like, so bold to be like, if you really felt good about yourself, and then like not have any photos of yourself. It was all just like recycled memes.
If you really felt good about yourself, you'd zoom in on your ass.
Yeah.
I'd be like, if you really wanted to see my ass, you would pay me for it. So,
you stupid fuck.
Anyway, I texted you last night a idea that I convinced myself is going to happen.
I would love to hear your rationale.
I'm going to walk you all through it. Yes. I texted Amelia. She's at a movie a premiere of a short she was in. And I knew that, but I was going to text her my ideas anyways, because she celebrates them, and that's all I need. I'm convinced that Kim Kardashian is going to run for president. So I'll walk you through it.
Please.
This woman was on TikTok. I should have saved it. I saw it on Twitter. She was explaining that, like, the statement Kim Kardashian made and how strong relationships she has with political figures and other figures with a lot of money like Jeff Bezos. Her statement on encouraging people to work hard in like the capitalist society that we live in is she's basically reaching that she thinks she said that on purpose. She knows what she's doing. She said that on purpose, and thinks it is in the long term going to be like a political statement.
Huh.
And I was like, bro. She like celebrities are doing presidents now, so
that's true. That's
and
true.
The level of influence this woman has, just in terms of like, yeah, influence and power. Like she is very financially influential, and she appeals to a lot of people.
She would get crucified.
Absolutely. And then I was like, there's so many pros and cons to this, because I would love to have a woman with a sex tape in office.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because women are exploited in that manner all the time. And
this was my one issue with the criticism from the Trump presidency, was the criticism against Melania for being like in like nude magazines. It's like, who gives a single fuck? We have a recording of this man saying that he wants to grab a woman by the pussy, and we're concerned. Did
you hear this woman like who she was doing like a man on the street interview with like someone on TikTok, and he was saying her whole point was like, well, no one accused Obama of sexual assault, like saying that like she thinks that he has, and women, like liberal women, just don't want to speak up because he is a liberal president.
Hello?
So she's just like, checkmate liberals, instead of like, this man isn't accused of assault because he hasn't assaulted anyone.
This is the thing.
So it also says a lot about her general perception of men is that they assault women.
Yeah, right. Right. It's honestly...
checkmate.
And also, it's just such... The whole straw man fallacy of like doing like a, well, look over there, to like ignore what's going on over here. It's like, we're over that now, girl.
Then
my blood is boiling.
Last night I was listening to a podcast talking about the royal family and how it operates like a cult almost.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, the Kardashians though. So we'll see. I would love to see if in the near future that I'm correct and she does end up running for some sort of political office.
Maybe like Senate?
Well, because Arnold Schwarzenegger was a governor, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a weird time.
Yeah, and it's not too far-fetched.
I mean, she was married to Kanye.
Yeah.
Who was like, had a whole political campaign.
I like the idea of him being like, I'm gonna run for president, and then in the background she's just like, okay,
yeah, how can I get in on that?
You know who actually would be better in office? Me. She's
like, people shit on her, but like taking the bar without going to law school is like really fucking hard.
Well, also I sincerely believe she is very smart. Her dad, famous lawyer. Her mom is a fucking mogul. Like, brilliant woman. The way they get around paying taxes, I'm just like, how do you think of that?
Level of intelligence.
She just, her mom is running the whole show.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think she's just a smart person and smarter than we think she is. And a lot of that has to do with people being prejudiced towards women with vocal fry.
Yep. Yeah. And people just like have an idea about the Kardashians without actually like putting any effort into figuring any of it out.
You know, I might be one of those people, but also like, I'm not going to watch your show. I'm sorry.
Ugh,
I just
love the Kardashians.
I don't want to.
I love them.
And
shamelessly, I'm mad at Kim though.
I just keep up on Twitter with whatever's going on.
I finally saw the clip of her saying what she said on Vanity Fair, and it's annoying.
Yeah.
Like, it's annoying to read, but it's annoying to hear.
It was so much worse when I heard it.
Yeah.
Because she was like so aggressive.
Right.
Actually, I don't like using that word for women. She was just like,
well, it was
very
though.
Yeah, she was kind of like shamey about it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Get off your ass and work. Nobody wants to work. Shut the fuck up, Kim. Shut up.
Who?
Yeah, who is this directed toward?
Yeah, who do you think doesn't want to work?
Right.
That's true. It could have been like a verbal subtweet. Like,
yeah, honestly, maybe. It's like,
Courtney doesn't want to work.
But Courtney was on the other side like, that is so true.
I like the idea of Courtney saying that being like satirical.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, that's the whole thing with her and
Kim,
that
is
Courtney
so
doesn't
true.
do anything. Yeah. I'll bring up the first. It was another conversation we had at the bachelor party. And I said I wouldn't talk about anything else from the bachelor party. But this isn't incriminating. It came up, and honest to God, do not remember how it came up, but I put it in my notes in my phone, and I had to reach into the deep recesses of my subconscious to remember what the fuck this note meant. I wrote, Usher bad at sex, ?
Let it burn.
Deep down, you know what's best for yourself, but you. This is a musical podcast at this point. We break into song a lot. But we were discussing, as I dug through my subconscious, I remembered we were discussing how... Okay, I have a metaphor. When I was studying in Italy, they told us all of the restaurants that were around, like, the major tourist spots are all very, very bad because they don't have to build up clientele because they're all tourists. So they don't have to, like, do a good job, and they don't have to be, like, good to anyone that's coming by because they're just, like, passing through. We were having a conversation about how someone like Usher probably doesn't have to be good at sex because there's no drought. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, and Usher was just an example. I mean, this is like for like any hot celebrity with like, you know, clout. But like, you don't have to actually put in any effort to be good at sex because you probably won't have sex with that person again if you're this like sex icon that's just like fucking around. And I hadn't really thought about it like that. You're not building up clientele. No. You can literally just lay there. But they always have people sign NDAs before they have sex with them. Like Justin Bieber, lots of NDAs.
Do you remember when that woman, like, in Brazil recorded herself leaving Justin Bieber's room?
Mm-hmm. And it was like his back was to the camera, but you could see his tattoos. Was that the one that you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Uh-huh.
And then she was like, bye. Like, leaving.
Fucking love that.
I thought that was funny. However, that's so true. I don't know. I'm thinking about the idea of how weird it is to want to sleep with someone because
they're famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like a conquest kind of thing. I was out. This is actually something that I was thinking about as like somebody that's been recently on dating apps and sees a lot of dating apps, how attractive it is to me to see someone that doesn't work at Amazon. So it's like, when
you heard it here first.
Yeah, hit me up if you don't work at Amazon, boys.
I feel bad for guys who work at Amazon because they're like, I had to take it out of my dating profile.
Yeah, I believe it.
But I don't know.
It's a good job.
A job's a job. No, we're all doing our best.
Working at Amazon is fucking hard. Not knocking you for that, but there's just a million of you because it's Seattle, you know? Yeah. So like whenever I come across anybody that doesn't work at Amazon, I'm like, oh, what's that boy?
And then there's like, there are a few different specific brands of Amazon boy, like where they like think their dick is enormous because they work there, and you're like, oh,
yeah. Every guy.
And then the fuck boys work at Microsoft, like
word. Yeah, there are different like. There's like a lot of like the Eddie Bauer and REI crew too. Whole different breed of man. We have a lot of Nordstrom. That's a different breed of man.
I've never met a Nordstrom man.
I've only obviously met the men that work in the women's shoe department at Nordstrom are very strategically sexy.
Interesting.
Because I will buy all of the shoes from them.
That's probably on purpose.
It is. It's remarkable marketing.
Huh.
But I was thinking like the benefits, not benefits, but like the perceived benefits of sleeping with a celebrity is like, if I'm thinking deep about it and not just like, I just want to say that I did, like somebody that is passionate enough about something to pursue it and get like notoriety for doing that thing is really sexy, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, like they put in so much work into getting this thing done. I can understand why there would be draw there. But unfortunately, I really think a lot of people just sleep with celebrities because it's like they want to say that they did.
Yeah.
But then they have them sign NDAs.
But also, how would you feel as a celebrity?
Well, like
knowing that that's why people want to sleep with you is because it's like
right,
a sort of conquest.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of a gross feeling, and it's like on such a small scale for me. I was talking about this with Moscow, feeling like a conquest with him. That was such like a, like, okay, cool, you conquered it, you know, and like, okay, bye. Like, that's a really shitty feeling.
Oh, yeah.
I think you have to get into a mindset as a celebrity of just like, well, if I'm opting into this, I have to know that this like might be the outcome, which sucks. But it's like Drake having to put hot sauce in the condom, you know? It's like
allegedly.
It's like, it's one of those things. It's like they have to think differently about these interactions that they have. But I don't think there's no way Usher's good at sex. And I will die on that hill.
I would die on the hill. There's no way he's bad at it.
Oh, interesting.
I think that he just...
Are we good bro, bad broing right now? We're doing
maybe
two sides of the argument. This is actually probably how it came off. We were listening to early 2000s music, and yes, oh my God, this is all coming back to me, about how like sexual he is and just how he carries himself. And I was like, I bet he's so fucking good in bed. And then somebody else was like, I bet he's not, because, and that's it's just such an interesting point.
I would trust you over a man, though. Does this man fuck men?
I don't think so.
So I would trust you over him because you have had sex with men. So
yeah, so
that's my devil's advocate debate, is because the best sex you've had, do they carry themselves in a sexy way?
Yes.
I'm also thinking on my past experiences while you're answering too, because I'm like, okay, Mr. Liz is absolutely the best sex I've ever had, and he was very hot the second I saw him. Like, I just always thought he was hot. I thought that when I looked at his profile.
Yeah, it's always interesting to think about. I always think about, like, I mean, it's no secret, the best sex I've had is Music Man, R.I.P. Right when I met him, I was like, I'm going to fuck this guy. And all of my friends that are dating someone say the same thing about the first impression that they had. So it has
maybe
to be
it's like an in-person vibe. Yeah. So
right. Because like, I'm not trying to fuck any of my friends' boyfriends. You know what I mean? And they're all like, most fuckable person I've ever met. And I'm like, okay, good. Like, that's great. So it has to just be like a pheromone, chemistry, brain chemistry kind of moment.
Yeah, maybe it.
Do we have any scientists listening? Tell us.
Tell us.
Hit us up. Okay, this was from an account called at Dre Christina, DREKRISTINA.
She plays 2 voicemails, and I'm gonna add it in. I'm gonna add in the first voicemail here, and then we'll discuss.
Yeah, hi there, all. It's Dimitri. Sorry I had to leave such a rushed message with you when we met the other day. I just want to quickly give you my phone number, and I had to get the heck out of the area. In any event, I figure I better leave you a more detailed message and explain why I approached you. I am single. I have no trouble meeting women. I mean, women approach me 6-7 times a day. But I'm very particular about what I like. You're extremely elegant. I couldn't take my eyes off of you, and your friends were very jealous. Even if they say they weren't, they were envious of the fact that I approached you, and I was very taken by you. Elegant women are very rare. I'm Greek, and I'm very particular about what I like. So I'm giving you an opportunity here. I don't know if you pick up the messages on the weekend, but I'm working on a movie script, so I'm pretty much around all weekend doing that. I left you my number, 416-918-4. This looks like a landline, and if it is, you may not get the message till Monday. But when you do, call me, and then we'll get together for coffee and chat and let the romance begin. You look very taken aback by my approach, and I hope that isn't timidness. I hope it was just a little bit of shock at being approached so directly, because I don't really date timid women, because I'm a very direct, very passionate, very assertive man, and I want a woman who's very independent and strong. So anyway, we'll talk about that, but I just wanted to formally introduce myself. Now I have. I leave the ball in your court. You call me as soon as you have the courage to. Okay, Olga? Talk to you soon. Bye.
First of all, can you imagine listening to your voicemail and hearing something like this? Like, what, like...
Yes, because I am not surprised that a man did this, but also, like...
The layers, the levels,
there's a lot to break apart here.
The very clear, like, devout following to red pill forums. I have a lot of women approaching me, but I'm very picky.
6 or 7 times a day. I'm like, no.
Yeah, they're probably like, can I take your order?
I'm like, are they just people on public transit saying good morning? Like,
yeah, like, excuse me.
But even so, like, how many times when you're out in public do men approach you? Oh, because God. I'm just gonna operate under the assumption that you and I are both more attractive than this man.
Yeah.
Because I also think that women are more attractive than men.
Yes.
And I also think that men approach women more often.
100%.
So those are just the assumptions I'm making, and maybe I'm wrong. No, but I do think generally men approach women more often than women approach men, because women are usually considering their safety.
Yeah.
And if it's not like an appropriate time, I feel like most people are like, I'm going to mind my own business until, you know, you're out doing something. And then you're like, hey,
yeah,
you're cute.
I just like his whole like getting approached 6 or 7 times a day.
Stretch.
I'm gonna be over the weekend working on a movie script. It's like there's just so much shit that's like he's just like dropping things that he thinks is gonna work.
Oh yeah.
That have 100%
I'm working
never
on
worked.
a movie script.
This has never worked, and this is the issue with guys that follow this kind of like
Do you know
dating
how
strategy.
many dudes I know have worked on a movie script?
Yeah.
Or said that?
Yeah, like it's what fucks me up so much about like this kind of mentality of like what works for women is it doesn't. And then
that's because they don't ask women what works for women.
Exactly. But then they use that to fuel like the fact that like women are like useless and like don't know anything and like they're low quality. They use this negative response to their shit to perpetuate their hate for women. And it's fucking gross.
And thinking in the larger picture of things, like the ideas and hatred towards women that they have, that's learned. Mm-hmm. They learned that.
Yeah.
And it's so deeply ingrained in every corner of the world. Like,
yeah.
Just what we even talked about last week, the nomadic lifestyle changing from nomads to landowning people.
Yeah.
And land becoming valuable, and essentially that leading to hating women's sexuality. Mm-hmm. Like, men have been taught to be repulsed by women.
Yeah.
And all of these thoughts are unoriginal, and that's what I think is like challenge your mindset. Like when men are like, body hair is disgusting, I'm like, body hair on women existed so commonly before this, and like you're gonna beat your chest and say like we need to do things like how we did them in the past.
Right.
Like women weren't
so
shaving
true.
their armpits. Like you were marketed that idea.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
You didn't even come up with that.
No.
I don't know. Just challenge yourself. A teeny tiny bit.
It just takes like a little tiny like extension of thinking to like challenge what you believe and see that what you believe is flawed, because like you're saying, it's the same thing with cellulite. Like the beauty industry has created issues out of something that isn't to make money, and body hair is the same thing. Like,
oh yeah,
it was to make money. Hello, you fucking moron. Ooh, well, women used to. No, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Like this is not something that like
we've created such a pageantry out of just like being with a partner. Mm-hmm. It's insane. Yeah. At what point do you no longer know the person you're trying to date? It's weird. It is.
And
I don't know. It's exhausting to think about too.
It's really interesting how men like this, like the one that left the voicemail, like they try to make themselves come off as like so confident. And
peacocking so hard.
It swings back to the other end of
you're
not being confident.
You're wildly so insecure. Yes. Yeah. But I also love that he called her elegant.
Yeah.
That is, I'm obsessed. It's iconic. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Wow.
I actually think that's like an understated compliment.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Elegant?
You're so elegant.
Hell
I'd be like,
I've never once been called
I know. I'm like,
elegant.
I'm constantly slouching. I am folded in half like a fucking panini.
Whenever people are like, what do your friends call you? It's never Amelia, because it's like far, far too elegant of a name.
I call you Amelia.
I know, but like, what you can just not if you wanted to. You do call me Amelia. I think you're like really the only person that is consistently a part of my day that calls me Amelia. Yeah, everyone else calls me Mealy.
I don't know.
But it would be weird if you said Mealy. Say Mealy.
Mealy?
Yeah, that doesn't feel right.
No. Well, and then my brother's dog's name is Millie.
My friend's cat's name is Millie.
I do love her.
Well,
so
we're one and the same.
That I guess it would be like if you called me Elizabeth.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Elizabeth is an elegant name.
It is.
And I am not an elegant person.
You don't strike me as an Elizabeth at all, but it's because I've known you as Liz.
Yeah.
It took me a while to realize that your name was Elizabeth. I'm going to be honest.
I identify with Liz deeply.
Mm-hmm.
Hi there, old guy. It's Dimitri calling again, the guy from the street. I left you a message several days ago. You said you were interested. Now, here's the way I work. I don't like leaving second messages, but I like you. You're a very elegant woman. You're very attractive. But, I don't play that game. I know your friends tell you not to return calls. You're playing games like you see on stupid TV shows. So here's how it's going to work. It is now 4:30 on Wednesday. Now, I'll assume that you've already left work, because, some people leave early, and I'll grant you that. But if I do not receive a phone call back from you by 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon, I'm no longer interested, and you can erase my number. I don't play games like that. I'm completely single. I'm very intelligent. I'm great in bed. I make great money. Believe it or not, I'm a complete catch. I've only been single 4 months. I had a long-distance relationship. Went a year. It's very tough to maintain it like that, and it didn't work out. There's nothing wrong.
What the fuck? It's like are you trying to convince yourself that you're a catch, or are you trying to convince her that you're a catch? I think it might be a little bit of both.
I have an array of emotions right now.
Sure.
Because I feel some secondhand embarrassment.
For sure.
I'm also sad for this man. He's trying so hard. He's trying so hard. And, none of us want to be alone,
Right, but,
we all want a partner. I know. And he's trying so hard. And he's being
so gracious.
Misled by these fucking dumbass, creepy guys.
Yes.
He's listening to these fucking idiots with, honestly, it is really frustrating as two women who host a sex and dating podcast, just seeing men march on the internet and doing no thought or external research, or we try our very best to be inclusive. And everyone knows that. We are often complimented about it. People express that that's why they like listening, because we do try to be inclusive without speaking on behalf of people that we do not represent. So
well said.
And I just it's so frustrating seeing these dumbass guys who, to be quite honest, they're ugly. they're ugly guys, and
that's not as exciting to say after being so gracious with everything.
I know, they're just these ugly guys who are mad at women, and I think that we are open-minded enough to be it doesn't matter how you look.
Yeah.
Because I've dated guys that are more attractive than me or less attractive than me. And it doesn't, the reason I like them was not because of how they look, but it's just when who you are as a person is so hateful, the way you look is just mirrored by that, and I can't help but notice it. I notice when people are ugly when their personality is ugly.
100%.
Otherwise, it's not something I think about.
No.
I feel the same way about acne. I don't notice acne unless the person sucks.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know. Maybe I just walk around with rose-colored glasses on. Just I assume until you suck, you're beautiful to me.
Yeah, right. So I noticed this as a kid watching Legally Blonde in theaters. I remember this so clearly. Chutney was when she was being awful to Elle, I was why is he with her? She's awful. And then when they became friends,
mean Vivian?
Vivian, who's Chutney?
Chutney is the one who murders the dad.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Or doesn't murder the dad. Oh, Chutney's the daughter.
Yeah, Chutney's the daughter.
Spoiler alert.
Why am I forgetting Linda Cardellini? It's Linda Cardellini who plays Chutney.
It is?
Uh-huh. You didn't know that?
No. She was so
iconic.
Young.
Linda Cardellini.
Well, damn.
I love her.
Vivian, not Chutney.
Yeah.
We don't like Chutney.
Yeah, Vivian, you're
Linda Cardellini.
Selma Blair is Vivian.
Yes.
Selma Blair, bombshell.
Stunning. But when she was written as a bitch, I was ew. And then she got nice to Elle, and I was she's really pretty all of a sudden.
Because even Elle Woods says well, she could use some mascara, but she unfortunately is like, or if she's not unfortunate looking or something like that. And then you're like, yeah, she is pretty.
Yeah. But when she was written mean, she wasn't to me. So yeah. So I noticed that as a kid, it's like, if you're an awful person, it shows on your face. Mm-hmm. It just does. Like,
did you, well, especially to children too. Mm-hmm. That's how they're perceiving things.
Children are like the most, that's why when kids like have an opinion about things, it's so scary, because they're just like unfiltered, like unbiased opinions about things. What are you going to say to me? Like,
are you going to hurt my feelings? Get out of here.
Somebody tweeted yesterday that they were out in public and a kid, it was, what was her name? Schnitt? Oh my God, why am I?
Oh, Ellie Schnitt.
Ellie Schnitt. She was out in public and this kid was just like staring at her and then just like exclaimed to the whole restaurant, "I don't like her hair." And it's just, kids are just that way. You know what I mean?
I'd be devastated.
Oh my God, I would be. It's
a child, so I know they're telling the truth.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing. Is like having this thought as a kid of like, this person is not as pretty when they're being mean, feels like the most unbiased, honest way of looking at things, you know? It's like, I can say like, "Ew, you're ugly," about somebody that I don't like, but like, that's actually, when somebody is mean, they look worse. It's just the way that it is.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
People shine from the
So
inside
that's
out.
why, like, when I see these podcasts with these like fucking guys with rat mustaches saying like, this is how you should get women, and then they're also not treating women in these conversations as like empathetic beings.
Yeah.
I think that's just what's so frustrating. It's just like watching these like fucking misogynistic, stupid red pill men claiming that they have the secret to sleeping with women.
Yeah.
And they give you the same regurgitated bullshit advice that doesn't work. It doesn't work. And like, maybe it's occasionally worked for them when women are like intoxicated in the club or something, but they're like, the games that they're playing, I highly doubt those are the things that they do, and that works for them. Like, no, like I said, no one's asking women.
No. Of course not.
And then when women say what they like and want, it's minimized. And they're like, "No, that's not what you want."
Well, because that would be
because it goes against everything that they've learned.
Exactly.
It goes against the patriarchy. It goes against what men like to tell each other and how they impress each other.
There's a lot of like, you know, dick measuring going on. Like they're always trying to impress each other.
Yeah, they want to fuck women to impress men. That's weird.
Yeah.
That is objectively strange as fuck.
Right. But like, this is what I was saying before too. I mean, I see this on like dating profiles all the time of people being like, "Women fucking suck. This is what I want. You have to be under 130 pounds and da 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 da."
Like, it's like, you've never seen
clearly
a woman.
Doesn't, right. You have no idea what that looks like. But this has never worked for you, and you are using the fact that it never worked for you to further fuel your hatred for women. But it doesn't make any fucking sense, because women are not a part of the equation anywhere in that. You're just like, it's this like sphere that they're living in of like trying to take advice from people that aren't, it's not working for the people giving the advice, but they're taking it as gospel. And for what? Like, what are their credentials? Like, what gave these guys like the like messiah stature that these people like treat them as having? They have no credentials.
If we're gonna mention a statistic or something, we cite our sources. We like say what we're reading or where we got this or who we got this from.
Right.
Like, if I'm crediting the source, you can go look into it.
And if we ever give advice on anything, we're like, this is like how we would handle it. And that's, none of these guys are giving advice that way. They're just like, no. This is how you have to be, bro.
Like, this is fact. And that is the thing that really sucks. Well, and then I'm like, okay, they're 24. Like, their brain's not done developing. I think it is really disheartening seeing men be like, this is how you get women. And at the end of the day, everyone's goal is companionship. Yeah. It's not just sleeping with someone. And even if you're sleeping, like, that is your goal, that's fine. But at the end of the day, like, people do want companionship where they know that the person that they're with is trustworthy. They can be accepted in themselves around them. Like, we also seek the same thing in our friendships. So it's not far-fetched to say we don't want the same thing in a romantic partner, someone that we are, like, being physically intimate with. Right. So, I don't know. That's just not the way to accomplish companionship.
No. It's not. It's
just like, yeah, I'm just like, this is how you have game, boys. Like, the game only appeals to men.
Right. Talk to women. If you're trying to date women, talk to women about how to date women. That it just is such an obvious fix. Why is it even contentious? Like, why do you need to be listening to these guys? Somebody used the phrase bitchless behavior, and it's my favorite fucking phrase.
I love saying it. You have no bitches.
You have zero bitches.
You are in bitch debt.
Yep.
You can't even get a bitch loan at the bitch bank. We were a little all over the place with that, but I think the same sentiment stands. As just like, we keep seeing this kind of like red pill shit regurgitated, and I don't know. It's old. It's tired. I want to see something new. Let's get creative, fellas.
Yeah.
You know? And I do try and have some, like, understanding, because I was a fucking idiot when I was, like, 24. Not that that's an excuse, but I'm trying to be, like, understanding. Like, you don't have the parts of your brain. It's true. It's scientifically true that collectively our brains aren't like fully done until 25.
I really just love like the slight burn of like,
so at
your brain isn't all there.
It's not, okay? Think about how you felt between like 25 to 26.
Oh, totally.
You changed so much. But so compare 26 to just 24.
The issue, and yes, that explains a lot of these guys, but like
I think it explains women too, because I was a dumbass.
But they don't change. Like, these people that think this way, and what scares me the most is that they are the silent majority. They really are. Like, there are so many of them. Guys that I respect hashtagging red pill in some of their posts, and I'm like, hello?
No.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. And it's like, oh, how many of it's an iceberg. Like, we're just seeing the tip, and those are the ones that feel bold enough to fucking exclaim it online and start podcasts and be polarizing for the sake of being polarizing. But there's all of this shit underneath the surface. I hate it.
Like, if what you want is to be loved and accepted for who you are, go to therapy. Please.
It's just too much work. So
because when you feel that way about yourself, you're not going to like do all this like pageantry bullshit to try and like win approval for someone that you're not.
Right.
Because you are okay being yourself. And like, rejection fucking sucks. No one likes being rejected. It's a bad feeling, but like at the end of the day, if you feel good enough about yourself that you can walk away from that without, one, feeling upset at the other person for wanting to end a relationship with you, and then two, like, sure, yeah, you can be disappointed and sad, but not being mad at them specifically. And then two, value yourself enough to be like, this hurts, but I don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me.
Yep.
That's how I feel now. Like, if someone doesn't want to be with me, or if I don't want to be with someone, like, it doesn't matter what our differences are. I think both of us deserve to be with someone who enthusiastically wants to be with us.
100%. Yes.
And the only way you can accomplish that is by cutting this pageantry bullshit.
Yeah. And it's really like that you have to think about, and I think this is really what you're saying, is like, you have to think about the type of person that you're attracting. Is that by being like this shit person, is that the actual kind of person that you want to be with? And maybe it is. Like, maybe these guys want someone that's just like, whatever you say. And
I want to know who that works for. Who does it work for where you put all this shit in your bio that has nothing to do with you or who you are, but only what you are demanding another person be for you?
I just don't
This isn't Sims, my guy.
I don't think it must not.
I'm sure there are plenty of women who do the same thing.
It must not work. It
can't.
It must not, because like, unless they have like fucking case studies existing on these like forums, or like Good Bro Bad Bro has like shit that like has worked for people that have listened to their podcast.
We do a social experiment.
Explain.
What if we make a fake dating profile with that kind of shit and see what happens?
Like a catfish profile?
Yes, but we're like almost anti-catfishing
because we're scaring them away.
Yeah.
But what pictures would we use?
I don't know. We'd have to find someone who would be okay with us using their pictures. We'll figure it out. But I think this is worth literally experimenting with.
People have asked me to do this on TikTok a lot. Like,
I think we should do it.
I think it would make sense. It's just I get caught up in like the who am I going to use pictures of? But we'll figure it out. Maybe Squints.
Oh, poor Squints. Hey, can we make you a red pillar?
He would be kind of into it, honestly. He's such a good like ally to women. He's like, do whatever you fucking need to do. Take him down.
I would say Mr. Liz, but I think he'd be like, absolutely not.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest Mr. Liz, but I was like,
no, he doesn't. He gets nervous when I just talk about karaoke. One last real full thought that I wanted to share is about some fertility frustrations.
Ooh.
I wrote down fertility annoyances because I know I've been very like public with everyone about my health stuff and what I'm going through right now. So for our Patreon listeners, I am having my surgery today. And for our regular listeners on Fridays, I have already had it. But I'm having a LEAP procedure, which I believe I said when I talked about it before. It's like a potato peeler. Mm-hmm. Potato peeler to the cervix. She's taking 10% of my cervix and leaving me 90. She explained it.
Wow.
4 millimeters.
Whoa.
But she also explained type 16 HPV, it is just one lesion that grows larger.
Oh.
And type 18 has multiple lesions. So there's no way for them to know if they fully got a lesion with like type 18. It's much more complicated to deal with. So I thought that was really interesting information.
You have 16?
I have type 16.
Okay.
So she was like, thank God it's not 18 because that shit sucks. And she's really candid with me. She's like, fuck that, blah, blah, blah.
I love her.
Oh my God. She is amazing. And like she's the one who recommended that I be unconscious for this because she's like, if you are not moving, I can like get everything.
Wow.
Like, or not, she can be very precise if I'm not moving, if I'm not awake. So that's why she wants me unconscious. And it's because I have anxiety. So yeah. I also think once I see like, oh, they're prescribed like Prozac or Lexapro or whatever.
Yeah, they're we're putting them under.
Yeah. They're like, maybe you shouldn't be.
Do you have to like fast the day before?
I have to stop eating at 7 a.m.
Can you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you drink water and stuff?
I can only drink water and Gatorade.
That's good.
Yeah. And then up to like 2 hours before. But, yeah, so I'm doing that on Thursday and I feel really good about it.
Yeah, good.
I've been trying to also like kind of, mentally and emotionally align myself with like, okay, having this done, I want to like have the idea that like just these negative experiences that I want to let go of, I'm going to make part of this. Mm-hmm. So I want to say goodbye to like things that weigh me down or like bad habits and stuff like that. And I really do believe in the power of like thought.
Oh my God.
So that's just kind of what I'm trying to like put in my head because it makes you feel more prepared for something to be like, yes, I'm ready to say goodbye to this part of my body.
Yeah.
I'm acting like I'm dying and I'm not.
Well, no, but I think it's good to like kind of make a ritual around it.
Making that's the word I was looking for. Making a ritual does make it feel like this is such a like connected body experience. And another reason, like the biggest thing to circle to my main point with like the fertility frustrations. So I had someone reach out to me with a handwritten letter about this person is a medical professional and they wanted to tell me to preserve my fertility. So here I am opening this letter thinking that it's going to be like legit medical advice and like, don't worry, this is so common, here's what you can expect, and I'm thinking of you. Just like words that are like calming and affirming and like scientifically reinforced. And instead, this person wrote to me to say, you don't know what you're going to want in your future or who you'll be with. So you should consider like the best way to preserve your fertility if possible. And I was so disappointed and sad.
Oh my God, I would have been so fucking sad.
It sucked. I was just like, I already have my own mom freaking out about it. And I read this letter to my mom and she's like, well, that comes from like such a place of love. And I'm like, I'm not. She's
That's
like,
such a generational difference.
Oh, yeah. And then she was like, would you be upset if I said that? And then I was like, no, but you're my mom and you're not a medical professional. So of course I expect that from you.
Right. Yeah.
Like, yeah. And she's like, would you be upset? I'm like, of course I'd be upset. And I was like, so the main frustration to me is that, first of all, I'm not in a place to have children that I would want to be in. Like, in the situation, I want to have children. I want to have a partner.
Right.
And I also want to be, like, physically ready. I love doing my research.
Yeah.
You know that about me.
Right. Yeah.
I want to be prepared to, like, take on having to be in charge of a person for the rest of my life.
Totally.
That's what you are signing up for.
Yeah.
You know, like even today I was thinking about Amanda Bynes' conservatorship. Like hers is, you know, her conservatorship is what they're supposed to be. Like,
right. Yeah.
She had a drug abuse problem. She was getting in so much legal trouble, and having her parents be able to help intervene legally with their adult child, like a good parent would want to do that.
Yes. And then when like they're good to handle it on their own, they're out of the conservatorship.
Yep. And that's what happened. She's like, I'm doing well. I have a kid.
That's good parenting.
Maybe she's married. I don't.
She has a kid?
Yeah, Amanda Bynes has a child.
Yo.
Yeah.
Damn.
Or maybe she's about to have a child. I don't know.
Well, holy cow.
Anyways,
I did not know that. But
just that was the biggest frustration. I'm like, people are prioritizing a hypothetical person that does not even exist. So that was the biggest frustration to me. I'm like, my health is my priority right now. My life is the only thing I am in charge of.
Yeah.
This is for you to prioritize my fertility and some, like, a child that doesn't exist. There's something that is just like, it makes you feel objectified in a different way. Like, totally. Not in a non-sexualized way. You feel like, okay, I'm just like this baby vessel.
Right.
And I'm not a person.
I think, too, you were at a tipping point when you got this letter because, like, you hadn't been hearing it from...
I was waiting for my results, too, to see if I had cancer.
Yeah. And you had been hearing this from multiple people of, like, are you still going to be able to have kids? And then you hear it from a medical professional, and it's just like... Why is this the feedback that I'm getting? Right. Why is this the feedback that I'm getting from everybody about something that is so scary to me? Like, I'm not thinking about kids right now. I'm just not. Like, can we talk about this, like, when we know that I'm okay?
Yes.
Hello? Ugh, it's just like, that's just so out of line.
And then when I told Mr. Liz, he's like, why wouldn't they think you were already doing that? Like, considering that?
Yeah.
Because I had made it clear to, like, anyone who talked to me about it, like, if I don't have kids, I want that to still be my choice. I don't want to not have kids because I'm unable to.
It's nobody's business but yours.
Exactly. Oh. And that's what we've been saying is my body, my choice.
And this is just a thing that, like, women always have to worry about with, like, oh, like, you don't want kids? Like, well, you're going to change your mind. It's like,
yeah, my therapist and I talked about this literally last week. And I was like, my mom has backed off talking to me about it. And then she was like, yeah, because you will be able to have children for at least another decade. Mm-hmm. And then I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do if I still don't have them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want them. Like, how? I don't know. It's just really frustrating. And I'm like, why have we made women believe that they have to have kids to have a fulfilled life? Like, how many shitty parents do you know? How many fucked up kids do you know?
So many.
Like,
yeah.
Some people aren't meant to be parents and they shouldn't be.
Yeah. But I mean, this goes back to the conversation about like why like women's sexuality stopped being celebrated was because like then there would be like all of these babies that like nobody would know who they belonged to. Women are only valued, like we're still getting the aftershocks of that mentality that you're only valued as a way to carry on the name. That's it. Mm-hmm. And carry on the wealth.
Absolutely.
That's it. And it's like, that's becoming less and less the case, that like, it's
and
like a wealth
people prefer
thing.
having sons because they know that a boy is going to have an easier time.
You're right.
And I don't believe that's true. Like, societally, yeah, but emotionally, no. We've really fucked over both genders here by even making gender a construct in the first place. I always wonder how I would have developed as a person if I didn't have all of these external, like, made up ideologies pushed on me.
Totally. There are a lot of parents now that are like, not a lot, there are a handful of parents now that are raising their children with no gender, like, constructs at all and seeing what they choose. And I think that that's a really interesting take.
I think it's interesting, too.
I love that.
I think regardless of that, I would have gravitated towards super girly stuff.
Me too.
No matter what.
Me too.
I have always loved really feminine things. And I still do. So I think that, but I would have liked to see how like my sexuality would have developed growing up if that had been like accepted. Yeah. And understood rather than just like, you're either gay or you're straight. Because there are actually other sexualities. So
newsflash.
They're like, and the whatever. We could talk about this another time.
I feel like I could go on about this for like another hour. But you had a sex fact?
I have a sex fact of the week.
Sex fact of the week.
Wait, did we do
the more you we did not. I was thinking about that. Follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram at The Holy Hour. We are now officially doing very well on TikTok. So please help us keep that going because we're turning some people on the podcast.
Be nice in the comments.
Oh, that's such a tall fucking order on TikTok.
I know.
But everyone that's listening, we know you'll be nice in the comments. hoelyhourpodcast at gmail.com for your spicy stories. Subscribe to us on Patreon. Join the Discord. You get ad-free and early access to episodes on Patreon and really cute conversation on Discord. And that's the tea.
The Discord's free. You don't have to be part of the Patreon.
Yeah. You can join it's in our link tree. And it's cute as fuck. They are having a movie night today. I feel like they're always having a movie night when we're recording. Whether that's Monday or Tuesday.
I know. It always ends up when we're recording.
We would love to join sometime.
But like we've said before, it does low-key feel like, you know, mom and dad.
The boss is coming to happy hour.
I know. I found out some of the people I manage, they have like other chats with each other. I know. I'm like, that's so sweet. And I like low-key want to be part of them, but also I understand. Like, you don't want the manager in the chat.
When the cat's away, the mice will play.
I know. I'm happy for them. I think they're so precious. Anyways, my sex fact is more of a marriage fact. I have some divorce facts. And because I can't remember, I was like scrolling through something and then it was like 50% of marriages end in divorce. And we've all heard that statistic, but I was like, is that even still true? So I went down this rabbit hole of like learning about divorce facts.
Love this. I was wondering why you went down this rabbit hole. You texted me. You're like, I'm reading divorce facts. I'm like,
are you
like, okay?
Is this... Well, yeah, I was just like, okay, we've all heard this, but I think that number has decreased. So I wanted to do some research and I didn't cite my sources, but I just Googled them and some of them were like the top, you know, when you can like press like related questions.
Yes.
Is like that. So,
okay. Got it.
Okay. It's all on the first page of Google.
Yeah.
You just look up divorce statistics.
I do actually always end up down those rabbit holes. And there are always questions you wouldn't have asked otherwise.
Yeah. And I think I put like the year in there, like 2020 to 2022 or something. So
that's some good Googling.
Yeah. These are updated stats. So 75% of the time, women file for divorce.
Holy shit.
The main reasons people file for divorce are infidelity, substance abuse, and like fighting or arguing. The final straws that lead to a divorce are usually cheating and domestic violence, like so they're not mutually exclusive. And divorce rates are decreasing, though divorce rates for people 50 and up are increasing.
I have a thought about that. Can I share?
Yes.
I feel as though it's because people are not getting married as quickly, like as they used to, which would make divorce rates go down. Then the older generations are realizing that they can get divorced because women are more independent now. I'm thinking of this in terms of like heterosexual relationships, obviously. But like the women are like more independent than they used to be, or they're feeling more empowered than they once did. And so like obviously those older generations are feeling more.
Well, and also a lot of them are like, okay, now that the kids are through college, let's get divorced.
Yeah.
So they've always wanted this, but they stayed together for the kids until like college was over.
Right. I think I've said this on the podcast before. My parents are both on their second marriage. And both of them have the same sentiment of like, they didn't want to get married again unless they knew 100% it wasn't going to end in divorce, because going through divorce fucking sucks.
Oh, yeah.
So they're much more willing to like sit and chat about things.
Well, and another statistic I read is that I didn't write down is if you are on your second marriage, it's more likely to end in divorce.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Because you've already done it, I guess?
Yeah, I think it's the idea of like divorce is so scary, especially to our parents' generations. Like it's so taboo and scary, and then after you actually go through it and you're done and you're alive, you're like, well, I've done it once.
Yeah. It's like,
and it's not gonna work out with someone, it's just not gonna work out.
Yeah.
So I think just knowing you can leave, maybe that's why.
Maybe.
But it sounds like your parents were very intentional. So
they're
that's
also
probably
older when they got married. That was the other thing. When their first marriage, they were very young.
That's another statistic that I wrote down, that people who get married in their 30s are less likely to divorce. So that's pretty cool. And people file for divorce between January and March. I'm wondering if it's like, okay, this is the last year.
We like got through the holidays.
Yeah. Oh, I hadn't considered that. Or let's give it a year or something. And then like the new year starts and you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But also those are sad girl hours.
That's like seasonal depression at its finest.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, that's when I am starting to lose my shit because I haven't seen the sun in 4 months.
Real. We also never see the sun here.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Today was fucking amazing. We saw the sun today, y'all.
Yeah, we saw the sun for a little bit.
What a fucking stupid fucking walk.
This last weekend sucked ass.
Yeah.
So much rain.
It's going to start raining again tomorrow.
Dumping rain. Not even, I'm used to the Seattle sprinkles. But occasionally it's just absolutely dumping. And there's no way that you're really going to know that.
No.
You're like, oh, it's raining tomorrow. Like, it'll probably sprinkle here and there. And then at some point we'll have some sun. Anyways, I have a few more stats.
Ooh.
The average marriage length is 8.2 years. And that's the last statistic I wrote.
8.2 years. I wonder if that's like because there are some marriages that are like 72 hours, like Kim K's first marriage. Well, that was technically her second marriage to Chris Humphries. I know too much about these people. And then there's like the big end of the range that's like 30-year relationships, and then it just averages out to being like 8.2.
Oh, that would make sense.
You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
there's just like, I wonder what the sample size looks like.
Also, there's several states that didn't participate. So this is like countrywide, but I think there are some laws around information like that. So like,
that makes sense.
One of the states that isn't allowed to participate is California.
Those are really interesting.
Yeah. So now you know some divorce facts.
That's a really happy note.
Divorce fact of the week.
Divorce fact of the more you divorce.
The more you divorce, the more likely you are to divorce in the future.
Damn.
Wow.
Bum, 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 bum. I want to end on a thought.
Okay.
And you can cut this out if you're editing and you decide you don't want to put it in. But there was a passing conversation that Liz and I had on texting.
I'm putting
that,
my leg
oh,
on you
okay.
on
I didn't know if
purpose.
you were like trying to have me move, so I was like scooting away from you.
It's like we're just gonna have our legs touch.
I love this. But there, an idea was brought to me, and I texted Liz about it, and I want to float it by y'all. The Jumbotron, but we want to call it the Jumbotron. I just came up with that literally right now.
Jumpotron.
Of like, if you ever want to like send a little cute little message to somebody that listens to the podcast too,
we could read it.
We can read it. Would you be interested? We would charge money, but it wouldn't be a lot. Because we want to do this
full time
FT. But anyway, let us know, you know, because like I would love to like propose to someone for you. No, I'm just kidding. Do that yourself. But like,
I'm like, yeah, sign me up.
No, I mean I'd be into that, but like I feel like they probably wouldn't. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, you had the Holy Hour host propose to me, like never talk to me again.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll marry you.
We'll get ordained.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. I was saying we'll actually marry. We'll be in a holy matrimony with them. Not like be the minister, but like that too.
I was saying we should officiate.
That's what I meant too.
Can you imagine us officiating a wedding?
It would be hilarious. The two of us up there.
We will be intoxicated.
Oh hell yeah!
Actually, maybe I'd be too nervous.
Choir robe.
We'd come out looking like Moira Rose.
Hell yeah! Oh, just like the Pope.
Yeah.
All day.
Pope with blonde wig. I'll do it. We'll do it.
Hit us up, Jumbotron. That will be a steep price. We have to fly to you, but we'll do it. We want to go on business trips, and that sounds like we can write it off on our taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So hit us up. We'll get ordained, and then we will also marry you if you ask nicely.
No one's asked me yet, so I'm just waiting.
We're here for the taking. All right.
We love you, our children.
Yes.
That was actually like pretty good.
I kind of felt really good about that.
Yeah.